Welcome back to Super Sentai Review, episode number 37. This one viewing episode 38 to 40. These are quite interesting episodes, given the fact that what happens in these ones. Let's start with episode 39. This is by far the most weirdest one I've seen to date. Okay, this one is focused on Cossack. Well, mostly, but it's focused on a friend of his. The current one's Jin. Now, this guy, the whole thing is focused on him the whole episode, which is quite interesting though, and probably the first time I can think of where they actually focused on a one-shot character. Yep. Oh yeah, definitely. Where, get this, like, he makes a deal with Egos to basically get more. Oh, I just remembered what the previous episode was. Yeah, where Egos, Egos is making a new monster, and apparently there's problems with this one. Without like, this is kind of weird. Yeah, and basically he's poisoned. Yep, poisoned in this human form, which only assumes briefly for like one scene, and he transforms into this skull mushroom monster. Yeah, seriously. And okay, now the plan is this: steals a bunch of poison. Is it to poison the atmosphere? Nope. He just steals it, throws a costume party, and this makeshift mansion just pops up out of nowhere, where basically Battlefield is basically battling him. By the way, he also kills some doctors while he's in the episode too. And Soma doesn't really do anything in these episodes, like really like nothing. So then of course they track down to a mansion. Apparently there's a party going on. They use costume guests, and when they get out of the mansion, of course, to protect these costume guests. And it turns out they're just cut men in disguise. Yeah, seriously, they've been hallucinating the whole time. Yeah, apparently the fog made him hallucinate. I'm like, that's interesting. And the plan is simply to basically brainwash Bad Fever J to work for them. And that is seriously their plan for this episode. I'm like, okay. And it's sort of a haunted house type episode. Basically, we have someone basically behind a painting with the eyes cut out. Like, that's interesting. And eventually, of course, the monster itself was eventually defeated, and the poison themselves, it's not suggestive if it's recovered or not. It's like their plan failed and like nothing. Yeah, also Helda's back after he does come back in this episode after being gone for the previous two, presumably because the actor was very busy. And at the monster defeated, that's pretty much it. Now back to this other one where this guy is apparently dying. He apparently so we have Jin going for a checkup. He's perfectly fine. Now it turns out this assistant professor, he apparently is dying from, it's later revealed, some kind of strange cancer that's a form of a jellyfish. I have never heard of a cancer like this before. And also, it's also shown that he apparently is in love with a nurse who does no feelings for him. She's in love with somebody else, and he really wants to be with her. So basically, he's, contemplating doing something, like trying to find a cure. And then Soma, basically, and this guy gives him a business card. Hey, go to this immortal club. Okay. So he goes to the building, just presses the elevator. By the way, it looks like, though, I'm not sure why the heck this is. It looks like when he pressed the elevator, apparently the wall moved. I thought that was kind of weird. I know that's a goof on the set designers who made this elevator, but man, that seems like very late. That's very shoddy, very lazy set design. And this I thought was really, really weird. Where, get this. Okay, so the elevator goes directly to St. Egos' strategy room, which seems interesting though. The fact is like this. So, what is Egos' plan for this episode? There is none. They just want to basically cure this guy and make him an Agos member. Well, basically, yeah. Step into this capsule, you become immortal. It's like, okay. So, he hops into the monster capsule, and he's made into a Hyde monster. Where apparently it's got Jekyll and Hyde personality. Now, in its monster form, it looks like one of the xenomorphs from the Alien movie. Of course, this season came out basically the same time as Alien, so not surprising that basically that they were about Alien. But here's the weird thing about it. They describe this as a Jekyll and Hyde personality. So apparently in his Hyde form, in his human Hyde form, he's pretty much a vampire Jack the Ripper. He even does a whole, oh, look at this, I'm hiding my face. Basically, borrowed that from Bela Lugosi. Yeah, he was known for doing that. But the way he's dressed with the big cape and the hat, it makes him think he's basically Jack the Ripper. Oh, and here's something really weird, though. He transforms into his form in broad daylight, and he kills a woman. Did the writer of this episode not know vampire mythology, or at least read, or at least know about the Jekyll and Hyde thing? Now, yes, I think that Hyde did have some things. He wasn't biting people and sucking their blood like he was a freaking vampire. So he talks basically about a few people in this episode. Yep. Oh, and by the way, there are some cutmen and... like, Soma is not involved. She's basically just a spectator the whole time. Doesn't really do anything at all. Oh, and by the way, Kosek is watching him the whole time. Yeah, it's quite interesting, though, that we focus the whole episode on him. And then they watch his apartment. You're like, oh, yeah, he gives this stomach medicine. And he just throws it away because he's fine. So then he transforms again in the middle of the night. And he hunts down the woman he lover. Kills him. He gets a full professorship. And then apparently his throat is he's very happy about it. The promotion. And then he just transforms back into his high form just to kill his superior. Kill his boss. Just so he can get the job for some reason. But apparently the woman he loves still won't love him. Well, basically just be interested in him for some reason. So he decides to crawl on the building that her apartment's in. And then we see him crawling on the walls. Oh my gosh, this is something though. Now, here's the weird thing though. Now, did Dracula ever... Now, basically, you can kind of say that this whole thing is just heavily inspired more by Dracula than frickin' Jekyll and Hyde. Did they crawl on walls in the movies? Yes, I think the first time officially did it was actually when Christopher Lee was actually the lead vampire. So he crawls on the wall, goes to the woman, takes her out of her bed, and it looks like those middle of the night, but no, and then all of a sudden it turns to broad daylight. When did he turn to a crisp? And then he proceeds to throw the woman he loves off the building. Well, look like he's going to, but look how Kenya stops him, and then of course they go to check on him. I think it's Cossack in France, and turns out it's actually not him, just a cutman. And then he comes in, and then he basically transforms into his Hyde form. There's a chair at him. That's pretty reasonable. I'm sure the chair is kind of heavy, but I'm sure anybody can lift it up. And then he proceeds to pick up an actual locker. Yes, a locker you see in the high school. And he throws it at them. Okay, I can buy the chair, but the locker? Seriously? I'm surprised you're not throwing the freaking desk at them. And then they chase into like a core like they normally do. And then they just magically got the cutman there for some reason. Don't know why. And eventually he's killed by the battle fever. And his giant form is destroyed. And also, I do point out something about this one here. When they have them go into the Megazord for these 3 episodes, the first one, he just brings in Miss America with him. Which, why not bring the whole thing? Oh yeah, they kill the monster to the ground first, then go kill the monster. In the next episode, he brings in France with him, In episode 40, he brings just himself. Yeah, kills the monster, and of course they pray for the guy afterwards, and that's it for him. Next one is another one where apparently, like, for the second episode in a row, yeah, these 3 episodes, Eggos have got really no plot at all. Like, seriously, they don't know what the heck they're doing. It's like they just don't know what they're doing with these 3 episodes. That's what it seems like anyways. So they make new Eggos monster, and it's the Prince of Evil, the Study Monster. Yes, seriously. A guy whose weapon is a giant fountain pen, which apparently is poison. Does the common effect all in the episode? Maybe once or twice. At most. Does it go on a rampage? Nope, not just going to rampage. All he wants to do is frickin' study. So he orders the Cutmen to kidnap gifted children. Yes, seriously, that is his plan. Yep. So then, of course, he proceeds to... one of the gifted children who are noteworthy in the area, who's pretty smart. And apparently people know that these people are Battle Fever J. I guess that what happened with episode, I think it was like 20, I think it was. Apparently Battle Fever J, who people are under the mask, apparently it seems like it's public knowledge. Which, okay, they never really just established it. Just, oh, okay, so... oh, and here's the thing, though. This Eggos ever actually planned to storm the headquarters again of Battle Fever J? Nope. After apparently 2 episodes apparently failing to storm the base operations, they just gave up on with it. So, we have Maria, Miss America Protect. Well, by the way, the episode's called My Beautiful Teacher. Is the monster turns... like, here's the weird thing about this monster. There is no human form of this monster. Nope. It's kind of also the same thing with the previous monster. Actually, that one does have a human form. The poison monster does have one, but this is actually the first one I could think of that does not have a human form. It's just basically a monster mode the whole episode. And in terms of the kids that they kidnapped, are slightly more intelligent than the other kids are. I'm like, okay. And apparently that, well, Soulmate basically knows that Maria is in fact Miss America. But she's ordered basically not to harm her because she's the study partner's tutor. And of course, the courage of the kid is not really very smart. It turns out the whole thing of him being genius is actually a lie. The reason why he was able to solve that problem because he memorized it. You could just say he's got good photographic memory. Nope, just claim he's a genius. Okay. And then eventually, of course, the monster's destroyed and... well, the kid himself basically is under a tutor, making him smaller, and when he plays hard. And, well, we had a little joke at the end where Kenya is chasing France, basically picking on him for not being that intelligent. And that's it for the episode. Like, wow. Like, the last 2 episodes are pretty competently done. These 3, like, okay, like, the first one's actually pretty decent. The second one was a good character. It was interesting, though, that the monster was the focus of the episode. This one is like, what's the point of this episode for episode 40? That's my question, anyways. Yes. But not much to say about these 3 episodes. We're just basically getting close to the very end of this thing. There's only 12 episodes left. Yep. So, yeah, that's it for Sickle Review. Stay tuned for tomorrow. My review for the... well, more Super Sentai tomorrow and maybe a Comic Corner, okay? Next video. Bye.